he kept wanting to refute what you just said.
Yeah, I
Why?
have the audio right here, and you said let's drop it, but no, the media wants to keep it going. That's exactly what you said about the wiretapping thing.
Yeah.
And then he said that you said Sean Sean Spicer was going to keep investigating it, and I never heard you say that.
No.
I never heard you say anything about Sean Spicer.
I think people are getting confused because there's two stories in that way.
Yeah.
In that one hearing.
Yeah, because he's talking about the leaks, which they want to pursue.
Right.
But then the wiretapping and Obama, they're dropping it.
totally
There's
different,
nothing there.
Spicer said that the hearing is still ongoing.
Where did you? I didn't hear you say that. But what hearing? Oh, just with James Comey in general.
The general hearing is still going on.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
See, this he didn't get just sucked down into the weeds. He's at the roots. Tell him to get on planet Earth.
What difference does it make?
This guy is gonna give me a freaking heart attack.
That's my point. Isn't the theme today the big picture? And he wants to split hairs over whether or not the wiretapping investigation is continuing or not. That's not even the big picture. Start it.
Anytime.
Welcome back to the Herman Cain Show. 877-310-2100. Before we get into that, I want to encourage you to read a commentary written by my colleague Dan Calabrese at hermancain.com. And it's entitled, "Most People Have No Idea How Much Obamacare Busts the Long-Term Budget." And most people have no idea how big of a failure Obamacare is. You still have one of the architects of Obamacare, Ezekiel Manuel, out there spreading propaganda about we should not eliminate the Unaffordable Care Act. That's pure propaganda. I saw him do an interview this morning talking about millions of people are going to lose health insurance. Maybe millions of people don't want the health insurance that the government mandates. He's claiming that the bill that's been put forth by the Republicans is going to make things worse. Well, in my humble, I read the summary opinion, it's not going to make things worse. It's going to make things better for the following reasons. It repeals all of the taxes. It eliminates the mandates. It eliminates the penalties. And it opens up competition amongst insurers. Yes. Even before you tackle that whole thing about crossing state lines, how about competition within a state? How about competition within a county? 1/3 of the counties in this country have only one insurer. And you're going to tell me it's going to make things work if you open up competition where they can go back into a county and have true competition to help bring down prices? It's not going to make things worse. Because, see, Ezekiel Manuel and the architects of the Unaffordable Care Act fundamentally don't trust you to make your decisions about your doctors, about your health insurance, about your providers. They fundamentally believe that they make better decisions for you than you can make for yourself. Here's another big picture item that they won't tell you about. The Unaffordable Care Act has been around now for 7 years. And over the course of the 7 years, everything relative to health care, prescription drug prices, health insurance have all gotten worse. That's what they don't tell you, because they want to try and save a system that is a disaster. So read Dan's article so you'll have a better idea as to why long-term, because they're not going to tell you that. Remember Nancy Pelosi's famous statement about we have to pass it, then tell you what's in it?
But we have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it.
Remember Jonathan Gruber and his statement that he got caught talking about it was based upon the stupidity of the American people?
Lack of transparency is a huge political advantage. And basically, call it the stupidity of the American voter or whatever.
Those are the assumptions they made, folks. And for 7 years, we have come to realize some of the things that are in that 2,700-page bill, and they are not good. And in the article that I'm encouraging you to read, he references some analysis done by Charles Blais, a fellow at the Mercator Center and the Hoover Institute, and he lays out why the costs in the Unaffordable Care Act are going to be even worse than we know. The big difference between what the Democrats did in the big scheme of things versus what the Republicans doing is that the Republicans are transparent. You know what's in it. They're debating it. They're trying to refine it before they pass it and not shove it down the throats of the American people, contrary to what Cory Booker and others have said. It's totally different. And so far, I understand how some members of Congress, some Republican members of Congress, may not be 100% happy with the bill yet. But if we hit 80%, folks, it's a home run. And the good news is, President is still working with members of Congress. And the other good news is the President and the Republicans, the ones that are supporting the bill, are on the same page. That in itself is a good thing. So let's hope that they build from that. And let's hope that you build from rapid fire.
So many listeners to talk to, so little time. How does Herman cover so many topics with so many people? It's Rapid Fire, every day with Herman Cain.
Hello, Robert. You've got a minute on Rapid Fire.
Yeah, I'm just trying to wonder why the lady who gave Hillary Clinton the questions for the debate, why isn't the media attacking her, especially since she's just come out and admitted doing it, and why aren't they saying she didn't try to influence the election?
She did try to influence the election.
She did, but why isn't the media and everybody, well, I know the media, but why isn't the world coming out saying, trying to condemn her for it?
Because at this point, it's a moot point. Trump won. If Hillary had won, they still probably wouldn't have been all over her or condemning her for it, because they have a double standard, Robert, and we see it over and
Very
over.
much so.
Yeah, very much a double standard. But, on the one hand, she stepped up and admitted that she lied when she denied that she did it. And I think it had a lot to do with the fact that her credibility was on the line because, hey, she still got to eat. She still got to work. But they are not all over that because they don't go after Democrats on stuff like that the way they go after Republicans and conservatives. That's really the bottom line. It's just another example of the double standard. Now, think about this. Even though she fed some topics, I don't know if she fed Hillary some specific questions, but it still didn't help Hillary answer it any better. And she still didn't win because the American people are not stupid. They thought that we were. They thought enough people were going to be stupid enough. But that's why it's just a double standard. That's all.
Correct.
Okay.
And also, are you aware that that line AARP commercial plays during your show?
I heard that. Yes. Yeah, I heard that it plays during my show. I haven't addressed it with management because I have no say-so about the commercials. Now, we have got to investigate the truth in lending rules because that commercial is absolutely not true. But I have heard that it plays during my show. I have no input as to what gets played during the show, and you know I don't make any claim for a commercial like that because it is so far off. But thanks a lot for the call, Robert. Joe, you've got a minute on Rapid Fire.
Thank you. Herman, I think Donald Trump is missing the big picture that he set out. He said he's going to win, win, win. Well, he's still losing the fight to the Democrats and the press in this way. You know, they have control of the circuit courts of appeal, and yet the Constitution sets out the way to end that problem. We have the Constitution saying that the Supreme Court is created by the Constitution, and all inferior courts to the Supreme Court are created whenever and wherever Congress wants to do it. And the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals in California has been overruled and thrown out 81% of the time. And Congress hasn't figured out that the power is there to change it. Congress needs to immediately create a superior court of appeals over all the other courts of appeals before it ever constitutionalists. I'm giving them the answer to the problem right now. If he was to do that, they would know their beat, because they would be up against something they couldn't change. And Congress could do it in a week's time, Herman. Second thing, what in the world is Jeff Sessions doing? There are people daily in the newspapers, in the television, threatening the life of the president, and it goes on and on and on and on.
Well, Joe, here's what we don't know. We don't know quietly what they're doing behind the scenes relative to people that are threatening the president. And it gets back to something that I said earlier. Sometimes you don't show your hand. You don't show your cards. You wait until you have caught somebody, and then you announce that you caught them. So I'm not upset that they are not publicly announcing every move that they're making about people who are threatening the president. Your other suggestion makes sense. But here's what the Trump administration is doing. Maybe yours would be faster and cleaner, but they are taking those bans that were imposed by those judges, and they now are resorting to having to go up the legal system in order to get it changed. I know that it's not as fast as we would like, but at least Donald Trump is recognizing that we do have this system of checks and balances. I hear you on that. But just like Comey didn't divulge what they're doing in terms of trying to track down the leaks, I don't think they ought to tell us what they're doing to try to basically keep an eye or investigate the people that are making threats to the president. Thanks for your call. David, you've got a minute on Rapid Fire.
Yes, I was wondering why people forget about how the Clintons were going to allow the Chinese, or did they return the money?
Right.
That, if I remember right, that happened with Bill Clinton, where I think they sent back like $500,000 back to a guy who was, I think, a general in the Chinese army. And then when Clinton ran in 2008, I think she had to return money that a bundler of hers, who since has gone to prison, as I understand it, for the same thing.
Well, David, you, like I think it was Robert, have pointed up the double standard, the Democrats' hypocrisy when it comes to nearly everything related to politics. I didn't forget that. I do remember. And they got caught. And what did the media do? They just kind of looked the other way. Thanks for the call. You're listening to the Herman Cain Show.
Credible, experienced, engaging. Herman Cain.
He keeps it real.
He gives it to you as it is.
Daily solutions for a better America.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Union officials actually agreed to block a pay raise.
Bernard seems like a good one for this short segment.
Bernard?
Bernard.
Okay.
Tell him to get right to it, because I can pivot from that to some other stuff that I have.
Life can hit you with the unexpected. The loss of a job, a sudden illness, a dramatic jump in your mortgage payment, leaving you feeling
Well, that's
helpless,
news nuggets.
forcing you to make difficult decisions. If you've fallen behind on your mortgage, are worried about financial problems, or are afraid of foreclosure, it's time to take control.
Consider
You
paying
don't
your
have to lose
bills.
your home. The National Foundation for Credit Counseling
Gotcha.
can help. Seek advice
So,
from our certified housing counselors today.
Oh, true.
Call us at 866-687-6322 or visit mortgagehelpnow.org. The National Foundation
One more.
for Credit Counseling. Real solutions.
One more rapid fire, and then we'll cut until we get to a better America.
Organization that has been providing financial counseling and education for 60 years. Our national network of member agencies have helped millions of consumers with foreclosure prevention. NFCC member
So
agencies
who complained about my striped shirt?
housing and urban development.
I'm in almost every school lesson class.
Sure. Nope. Nope. That's not part of the big picture. That's right. It's not constructive, not part of the big picture.
You know what else isn't constructive? Victor.
Write that down, Sandy B. Why is John asking about a inheritance tax in Obamacare? We're trying to kill that.
Not a clue. Well, he said he can't find even the inheritance tax in Obamacare. Like half the stuff he reads says it's there, half says that it's not, but it's like a 60%.
It's there.
Tax or something?
It's there. It's there. I didn't read all 2,700 pages. Betsy McCoy did, and she has said it's there. Why is he looking for it?
I'm not sure.
Maxine Waters.
Poor Maxine, bless her heart.
Get ready for impeachment.
Based on what?
It doesn't matter, Herman. I'd make such a great Democrat.
Yeah.
All right. I even have some audio for your happening now.
All right. I'm going to have to stretch this because there's not a lot of other stuff in here. Yeah, a lot of blather and babble. Not a lot of red meat.
All right, anytime.
Welcome back to the Herman Cain Show. Bernard, you get the last minute on Rapid Fire.
Yes, sir. How are you?
I'm magnificent. Thank you.
Oh, shucky duck.
Yes, sir.
I was questioning the fact that during the Trump administration, which he has not completed, that we still have Democrats in positions in the Obama administration that's mixed in with his administration for right now.
Right.
So why is everybody jumping on him about what he's doing when he doesn't have all of his people in yet? Don't they see that?
Some of them see it. Some of them don't want to see it, Bernard. And the reason that Trump has not changed them all out yet, you're talking about over 4,000 positions all total. So, yes,
please state that to the public, because I don't think they understand that.
4,000 positions. Now, you know how the Democrats slow-walked the confirmation of some of these cabinet heads. That just delayed them changing folk within their cabinets, and the Democrats know it. So you are absolutely right. They want to jump all over Trump for the least little thing, and he's now 2 months and 1 day, 2 months and 1 day into his presidency. The Democrats have created every barrier that they can think of, and they want to be critical of every little thing that Donald Trump does and he does not do. Let's look at what has happened in these first 60 days. The national debt has gone down $100 billion. And all he said was put a cap on federal hiring, as well as the 2-for-1 rule, as well as a lot of other things that are happening. So you're right. He hasn't had time yet, and his cabinet members haven't had time yet to make all of the changes that need to be made. Big picture, give President Trump a chance. Thanks, Bernard. You're listening to the Herman Cain Show. See y'all in a few minutes.